Yo, Bracy Skills Clinic's back with another video, man. As you can see, I'm repping the Spurs right now, and I'm gonna just roll right into what this video is gonna be about. So, as of right now, the San Antonio Spurs are 1-3, and the question is it's a crazy question because it's only 4 games in. That means we have 78 more games left. But the question that I'm seeing is, should the Spurs be concerned? Due to the 1-3 start. I am a part of a few Spurs fan base groups on Facebook, and you're starting to see fans a little frustrated because we're losing games or whatnot. But I hate to keep sounding repetitive, but I think the Spurs and their fan base definitely still need to be patient because to lose to the Nuggets, Bucks, and Lakers. I know the Nuggets didn't have Jamal Murray, and I know the Lakers didn't have LeBron James, but those rosters are still playoff teams without those guys. I think the Lakers are still a playoff team without LeBron. They may not be a championship team. Same with the Nuggets. The Nuggets are not a championship team without Jamal Murray, but these are still good teams without their best players because they're so deep, they're so loaded, they have a lot of talent. So even without those key players, beating those teams is still very difficult just by what else they have on their roster as far as personnel. And I just think the Spurs, they're going through those growing pains. You got to think last year, games that we've had, like those 3 losses, especially down the stretch where the game is close and you need a bucket, we had a DeMar DeRozan to get a ball to. We had a LaMarcus Aldridge to get a ball to. So I'm not saying that we necessarily need those guys, but these young guys didn't have to make all of the key decisions. And so now they're getting that very early, which I think is really good because I think they're going to gradually get better with that. And I think they got better even in that Laker game with some of the decisions that they made. Like, yeah, they lost the game, but I'm just looking at how they're competitive and who's answering the call. Like DeJounte, had a phenomenal game. I know, people are going to harp on the 9 for 24, but, DeJounte was very aggressive. DeJounte showed a lot of confidence in his three-point shot, which is huge. And he took on the guts to take that last shot at the end of regulation, man. I have no problem with that. If you're a real hooper, you should not have a problem with that. Keldon got in some foul trouble yesterday, so he didn't have his best game. That was probably his worst game of the season. But all I'm saying is for the Spurs to play 3 very, very, very solid programs or teams and be competitive and be in situations where they got to make a play, and the young guys they're not scared to make those plays. It just didn't happen for them. I'm satisfied with that. Now, of course, we're definitely going to need to get some more wins for sure. No doubt about it. But when people used to say things like the Spurs don't have an established star, I think that's slowly changing because I think what we're seeing is DeJounte take on that role. I think Keldon has took on that role through 4 games. He didn't have his best game yesterday, like I said, but through 4 games, Keldon has shown that he can take on that role. And honestly, I think if some of the vets, the older versions of the vets, like the Bryn Forbes and Doug McDermott, if those guys were a little bit more consistent, or if they can at least show more consistency, I think the Spurs will still be fine. Like I said, man, I told y'all beginning of the season, we're playing range. I'd be shocked if we got higher than the 7 seed. I told y'all that, man. So this is a part of the process. I know we got to get more wins, but, man, we played not just playoff teams. We played some title contenders, bro. When the Nuggets get Jamal Murray back, they're in the hunt for a championship. Lakers are in the hunt for a championship. The Bucks are the defending champs, bro. So, hey, and we've been competitive. We haven't looked like, oh, man, the Spurs don't belong on the court. We just haven't came away with wins. And this team has to figure out how to win. They got to learn how to win. They don't know how to win right now. It's just plain and simple. So I like what I'm seeing. I made a prediction that said Keldon or DeJounte would average more than 20 points. Keldon had a 11-point game that brought him under 20 points, but I'm still high on that. I told y'all DeJounte would start really, putting all around numbers that looks a little all-starish. And, yesterday you saw a little bit of a glimpse of that. 21, 15, and 12. Hey, they're on track in my book. So they just got to come away and figure out how to win games. So we got the Mavericks next. Hopefully we come away and get a victory there. That's still going to be a tough one with Luka coming to town, but that's a rival game. So I think that's going to be another highly competitive game. So Spurs fans, man, I know y'all looking at the record, but remember, it's 78 more games. 78 more games. Even the teams that are undefeated still got to prove that they can do it 78 more games. Let's chill. We out.